I was just a huge fan of 28 Days Later. That was one of my seminal films growing up. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was scary. I loved the kinetic energy of it. I loved the actors. It was such a ride and such an experience, and there was obviously such craft in the directing and in the screenplay. And so I think on every level, I just admired the film. And so when I got the chance to direct this, I could not say no.
We needed to shoot the first film and the second film back to back. That was to do with the overlapping actors, because often they don't have huge gaps in their diaries. So we compressed the schedules, which meant that with this kind of size of film, much as though I would have loved to have directed the second film, I couldn't possibly do that. So we set about trying to find a director.
I had got to know Nia DaCosta in London. She was interested to do it. And in the meeting we all had together, she just spoke about it very well, and she said, this is what I would do.
She was wonderful. She came in, she said, I'm not going to make a Danny Boyle film, you know. And that was the right thing to say, straight up. So she said, I'm going to make my own film, and you thought, absolute respect.
Danny is a highly experienced, very highly regarded director, and I think most people's instinct would be to say, I'm going to try and do what you do. And she didn't do that at all. So that was impressive and it was smart.
This script is very different from the first movie anyway, so it actually lends itself to a different approach. And I also saw, because it's a different film, like the places where I could really put my imprint on it. So my conversations with Alex were, I love the script so much. You know, can we do, I think there were like a couple of scenes that I asked for to be added to the script. But once that happened and once the script was locked, I was like, this script's amazing and this is what I'm shooting.
The world of man became Old Nick's dominion, and his dominion was hell. How's that? Nia's been great. I've had a wonderful time being directed by her. Brilliant at what she does, you know, and the crew that she's brought along with her and seeing how they work, just a real crack squad. And just to see the contrast in the way that it was being shot compared to the first one was wildly different.
The first film is based upon this very timeless story, the hero's journey, but shot in a really raw and radical way. And then the second film is a raw and radical story, shot in a really timeless way, and it's that kind of balance that I think has been very successful between them both.
So 28 Years Later was shot on iPhones, and 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple was shot on a very advanced digital camera. I really love cinematography, I love cameras, I really like just figuring out how to get the image that I want to get. So for this film, you know, there are kind of two main groups, I would say, that we're with Kelson and Samson, and then we're with the Jimmies. And Kelson's role will be more bucolic, static, measured, peaceful. And then with the Jimmies, just so much more chaotic, like we'd cut more, the camera would be moving all the time. So it's got its own sort of lyrical, beautiful madness, The Bone Temple.
Nia DaCosta is so on it, and the way that she communicates is so clear and direct. And it feels like we're constantly finding new things and new avenues to explore. There's just a really nice energy to her.
For Nia to come in and inherit so much, but not just inherit from 28 years later, but also to inherit this sort of universe, takes such a muscular sense of like self and story.
Action.
And it's been incredible to watch her own it and to go on a new journey within that world.
I like directing a lot because I get to collaborate with people who are just brilliant at what they do, and they make every idea I have come to life, and then they make it better. And all the challenges of this film were made fun and easy because of the amazing crew that I had. I'm just really proud of the work everyone put into the movie.
She has a very sort of practical, realistic, hands-on kind of approach to directing, which I respect and admire. And her film is really quite different. It has her fingerprints on it. That's a good thing.
Actors love that, of course, that she comes in, she has her own identity, that they're not getting a second-hand photocopy of something. She has her own identity and a way of going about things. And her work with the actors was excellent. You know, just as a director, you can see when actors really know what they're doing because they have that relationship with the director. And she ran a very calm, very, very efficient set. I was very impressed. And it's a very lovely film.
I grew up with the first film, 28 Days Later. Danny Boyle is hugely important to me as like my filmmaking journey, becoming a director, deciding I wanted to be a director. His films were a part of that journey for me. I had a really crazy moment where it was me and Danny Boyle and Alex Garland and Cillian Murphy sitting in Danny's kitchen talking about, you know, here's what the movies are going to be. And I was just like, wow, my 12-year-old self could see me now casually drinking tea and eating croissants in Danny Boyle's kitchen talking about being a part of this world that I love so much as a kid. I don't think I'd believe it. So it's pretty great.
How's that?
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.